Hello. I just wanted to jump in and share an experience that I just had. I just got off of a Zoom training with a beauty school. There was maybe, let me see, because I have a photo that we took a screenshot of everybody. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 students and the teacher. The teacher is here in the front, the blonde. Her name is Risha, and she is a member of my Hair Color Secrets Insider group. And she invited me to chat with her students. And it's such an honor and privilege for me to get in front of future professionals. But I always tread lightly because what happens is the way that we're taught in beauty school is so different from, in my opinion, real life scenario hair color, right? When we get behind the chair and we have an actual human being in our chair and have to think on our feet, the way that I teach hair color is completely, totally different than what is in any beauty school textbook. So when I teach students, I always get this look, people always have this look like, what in the world is she talking about? And there's a lot of assumptions on my end, and shame on me. I'm the educator. I should know better, but I assume that words like glaze and gloss and things that I'm throwing around while I'm teaching are blanket statements, blanket things that everybody knows, and they don't. So I get just as much out of the teaching the students that they get from me. And it's always I have no voice right now. I stayed on it's on Eastern Standard Time. It's 4:15. We started at 2 o'clock. It was supposed to be an hour class. Well, the first 20 minutes was technical difficulties. Most beauty schools don't have the most high tech equipment. So they were trying to get me on their big screen and they could see me, but they couldn't hear me. And I could hear them. So they're like, well, it's not going to work if you can hear us and we can't hear you, which is true. And I did a very basic formulation. I said, it's called Let's Formulate. And I talked about different scenarios and why I chose what I chose. Things that if you watched my coffee chat yesterday, you saw me share some formulas that I did. Same exact thing as the coffee chat. But because there are students in school, some of these fundamental facts that I was throwing at them, their minds were blown. And I love seeing the light bulb moments. What I don't love is when I hang up and I think I've left them needing and wanting so much more. There's so much more where that came from. There's only so much I can talk about, even though we went, way over and I spent a lot of time. I can tell that there's more questions left behind. And what happens is, unfortunately, a lot of times people are afraid to raise their hand. They're afraid to step up and answer questions. They're holding it all in. And then tomorrow, they're going to be no better and no different than they were today. Because if I'm just talking at them for 90 minutes, yes, they're learning. Yes, they're hearing things. But literally 5 minutes after I shared a gem of information about using demi color. And I specifically said, the reason that, I do this and the reason that I do this is this. And I explained everything and I talked very slowly. And literally 10 minutes later, somebody said, why did you do XYZ? And I said, was anybody else listening when I said that? Does anybody else know the answer to that question? And one person raised their hand. So out of 13, 14 people, one person retained that very valuable nugget that could change their entire career behind the chair. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing it with you because most of us behave the same way. We go to a class, we hear something, we write it in a notebook or we put it in the note section of our phone. And then we go back to our regular life, right? We get caught in traffic on the way home where somebody flips us the bird and honks at us and frazzles us. And the memory is not fully stored because it didn't really sink in yet. So the beauty of what I do as an independent brand-free hair color educator is I offer virtual, both live and pre-recorded and recorded versions of what I teach so that you can listen to it over and over and over. I have students in my membership that will say to me, I've been in your membership for 3 years and I'm finally just getting that concept. You've been telling me since day one, but I finally used it in the salon. And I'm so happy that I did. And I'm like, what an idiot. Why didn't I do it sooner? And I'm like, it's okay. It's a lot. So I talked yesterday about my masterclass. We've had so many of you join the masterclass. We've already had people join the Hair Color Secrets Insiders when they've ended the masterclass and got invited into the Insiders. And my challenge to you is, what are you waiting for? Stop dicking around. Stop pretending that you know it all. Stop thinking that you're being weak by asking for more information. There are so many things I can share with you that have created careers for endless amounts of hairdressers that they could not even imagine the money that they're making now because they understand these fundamental things that were not taught in beauty school. They are not taught at platform artist classes at hair shows. I promise you, I have not seen this information anywhere else, in person or online, that I'm sharing. It's $47. There's a money back guarantee. What are you waiting for? It always blows my mind. I offered the class to these students. There was 14 of them. I'm curious to see how many of them. Now I know in beauty school, $47 is a lot of money. For you guys watching me now, it's really not a lot of money. You spend more than that on a couple trips to Starbucks, maybe 2 trips to Starbucks. Everything in life is expensive. This is something that you're investing in yourself that's going to pay you back 10 times more than the $47 that you're investing in the program. It is a, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? On demand. I'm so tired. It's an on demand opportunity that if you buy, somebody bought it and then she said, I can't figure out how to do my password. Just give me my money back. And then she wrote to me and said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get it again. And I'm like, well, why am I giving you your money back on something that is lifetime access that you've already bought? But okay. And I gave her money back and then she has to buy it again. So I'm like, there's this element of a hijack that happens where you listen to me talk about the class on the coffee chat and you're like, oh, this sounds awesome. And then you're like, maybe I'll buy it. And you put the link somewhere and you forget about it. And then I'll talk about it next Wednesday on coffee chat. And you'll be like, oh, I meant to buy that. And then you'll get busy with something else. But how much more time are you going to let go by not getting the information that you could be getting that's going to propel you forward in your career as a colorist and give you so much more confidence with basic math that a third grader could do? I challenged myself very early in my educating years. I've been educating probably about 8 years full time now. And in the very beginning, we were on a long car ride with my children. And they're sick of hearing about hair. The salon, I've owned a salon for 35 years. So they're so tired of hearing about hair and they're not hairdressers. So my son at the time was probably 15. My daughter was 20. And we sat in the car, we were driving somewhere on vacation. And I said, I'm going to tell you some things that I share with people in my class. I'm just going to just say it, number one, this, number two, this, number three facts about hair color. And I said, when we get to the restaurant, when we get where we're going, I want you to formulate the waitress from what I just told you. So no beauty school, no interest in hair, no reading of books or textbooks or watching videos or anything. A car ride with 3 facts about how to formulate and this basic math equation. And by the time we got to the restaurant, both of my kids were able to properly formulate the waitress. Those are 2 people that know nothing about hair color, and they got it right off the bat, right away, and it was perfect because they weren't jaded by all the information that's in their head that they learned 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago in beauty school that they can't unlearn. So that's the disconnect. I want you to dive into this class with an open mind, be an open sponge like you've never colored hair before. And I want you to watch the 3 videos. There's a bonus 4th video. I just want you to watch them and just hear what I have to say. And by the end of it, I want you to challenge yourself to try it. You're going to say, oh my God, what is this? I never heard this before. This lady's crazy. Where'd she come from? I've been a successful colorist earning over 6 figures every single year for the past, I would say, 15 years of my career behind the chair as a colorist because I really understand how color works. I'm not tied to a certain brand of color. I don't need to phone a friend. I don't need to stress and guess and pray to the color gods that my color is going to turn out. I know before I even pick up the tube or bottle and formulate that my formula is going to work every single time, whether it's a corrective situation, a virgin hair situation, a first time color situation, whatever the situation, I am 100% confident. And if I'm not confident, I say, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. That's the type of colorist that I am. Every colorist that works with and for me at my salon are also six-figure earners. They're very successful because they came in with an open mind and they leaned into what I teach them and they let me share with them all the gems of wisdom that I've collected over the past almost 40 years. They were open to the information and they weren't digging into what they've always done, even though they weren't getting the greatest results. So if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always got. Nothing's ever going to change for you. So I'm a little fired up right now and I wanted to jump on and share because I want to share this picture I dropped a knowledge bomb and the girl's face in the front. I said, oh my God, I have to take a screenshot of this. It was hilarious. This is her face. She couldn't believe what I said to her. And then look at the girl behind her with her hand on her face. They're all like, OMG, their mouths are dropped because they can't believe that it's that simple. I taught them a math equation of why what they're doing isn't working, showed them why the equation works, and they were like, and that's awesome. That is the best way I could have spent my day is with future professionals that have an open mind, that want to be molded, want to be mentored, want to be trained. And I hope that's you. I hope whether you've been at this 40 years or 50 years, if you still struggle with color, it is never too late, ever. The teacher of the class was asking great questions and learning from me again in the class. And she's the teacher. So if our teachers at beauty school still have questions about color, where does that leave our students? If you're watching this and you're a salon owner and you're wondering why you're not getting the right people applying for jobs and they don't really understand hair color, it's because beauty school doesn't have enough time. They have a set amount of hours they can spend with that student and they have to get in health and safety and cutting and relaxing and perming and finger waving and setting and all of the other things. They don't have an entire year to spend with someone teaching them hair color. I do. I spend a year with my members teaching them all the things that they were missing. So I hope that you see how much passion I have for what I do. I hope that you can feel that you can trust me and that $47 is such a small amount to pay to get, in this world of creative color that can be so much simpler than it's been made out to be. I see I have some members on here. Anne is a former member. She said, waiting for clients' color to process, saw you pop up. Phyllis is a current member. She said, yes, that's true. There's every time I go live, the people that pop on are the Hair Color Secrets Insiders because they're the ones always hungry for the next thing, always looking for what I have to say next that's going to change their game behind the chair. And I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I'm so blessed to have you in my life. And I'm live right now in Expert Color Solutions, in a corrective color group that I've done, and in a UK group that I belong to, and YouTube. So wherever you are watching, if you're ready to accelerate your knowledge in hair color and you're ready for a mentor that cares about you and what you learn even more than sometimes you care about yourself, I'm here for you. You can go to expertcolorsolutions with an S.com and then /simplify-color. expertcolorsolutions.com/simplify-color. I hope to see you in the masterclass. I hope that you'll join the Hair Color Secrets Insiders. We have our annual in-person retreat for the Inner Circle coming up on the 28th of April. I'm so excited to see people in person. And I will soon be doing events throughout the country live in person called the Savvy Stylist. So I hope to see more of you in person, online, through the DMs, however we can connect. I would love to connect. And I thank you for listening to my rant today and letting me share those amazing pictures. I'll show the group picture again. So this was the group that I had the privilege to teach today. You see the big smile on my face. And this was the, oh my gosh, mind blown moment. That was so much fun to see. So thanks for listening. And I will see you on the next coffee and colorful conversation every Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Expert Color Solutions Facebook page. I will see you soon.